Hi, welcome to Blended in Bklyn.
Blended in Bklyn!
It's gonna take some time to get used to saying
Blended in Bklyn.
blended. It's like a tongue twister.
Today's topic is unlike any other topic we've attempted to challenge before. Today's topic is surviving infidelity.
We need those sound effects. So I just sprung this on him. So we're like, I think you're a little...
We didn't plan this.
No, we didn't plan this.
But this is a touchy topic.
Yes, it is. But it's something that I think is...
it's happening everywhere.
Common.
It's happening everywhere.
People don't like to talk about it. Or not in a constructive way. So
there's nothing really positive about it.
There is and there isn't, because I will start. I was at the receiving end of an unfaithful relationship, and I recovered, and it made me stronger after the fact. And it also made me realize that the people I was selecting had similar tendencies, and so I had to take part of the responsibility for what occurred because I kept picking the same person. So it was almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy where I expected to be cheated on because I had feelings of unworthiness, and so the people that I selected were the people that would cheat on me so that then I would be right. I would have to break it down, but that took a lot of therapy to get to. So I can speak about it very openly because one thing that I learned is that cheating had nothing to do with me. It was all about that person and lack of communication. Because if there was something that I wasn't doing or that I wasn't providing or that I could improve upon, it wasn't communicated to me. And so I had no idea. And so that person used that reason to find whatever they needed outside the home. So for many years, I thought, I'm not worthy. I'm not good enough. Why can't someone just pick me? Why is it that everyone needs to supplement with another human being? And I feel like that goes two ways, because in part I also understand that monogamy can be difficult, but a relationship takes work, and if you're not investing in your relationship, then you can't be surprised when the other person strays. So like I said, I've been at the receiving end of it, and I know how much it hurts, and I knew that I never wanted it to happen again. So I made sure that when I selected my partner, that it would be someone that shared similar values and in a way kind of similar experiences. So because if you're the one cheating, then you don't really understand how it feels, how it hurts the other person.
Time out, not to sidetrack. Have you ever cheated on anyone?
No.
Have you ever broken up with someone to be with someone else?
Yes.
Okay. And at that point, the feelings with the first person had been dead for some time or were dying, or do you feel that person cared more for you than you cared for them?
Well, here's my personal experience. I was in a relationship that was already failing, and there was a break in the marriage.
Was it failing that you both knew of it, or was it just your side?
No, we both knew of it.
Okay.
We both knew it. We couldn't communicate properly. There was a lot of resentment, and we weren't interacting. And so we both it was an unconventional situation because he was already seeing other people, and I was aware. But we had a conversation, and he pretty much said, we can stay under the same roof. We can make it work for the kids. We can try and get along almost like roommates. So I didn't have anything else. I didn't have anything to fall back on. So I was like, okay, I guess we can try that. And then in the process, I met someone else. So our relationship was already done. We weren't together. But now, when I met the other person, I came back and I told him. And for some reason, when you put your little shiny toy down and someone else picks it up, that's when you want it back. And that's exactly what happened. Then it was, let's make it work.
Became very possessive.
I still love you. Let's make, and so then it became kind of, it was just, it became difficult because now I felt disloyal. Because now you want me back, and now I'm questioning my actions and things like that. But ultimately, I decided to walk away.
Okay.
What about you? Have you ever cheated?
I've not ever cheated, but I've been deceived a couple of times, and it's always been painful. It's never a good feeling, especially when you catch them in the act. So I'll pick one experience where I was not exactly in the best place. I was with somebody who I had been with for a little over a year. We moved in together, and then at some point in the second year we got engaged, and kind of quickly went through with the wedding process. And I didn't really know this person. I'm openly admitting that at that point I was just about go, and it was all about the image of getting married and not about real love connection. And so I have to take responsibility for not putting the time in and the due diligence in getting to know everything about this person before I started to make these discoveries. And it turns out that she had mental issues, a really troubled history with her family, including abuse from family members, and it was just a bad experience. And she did a great job of concealing all that until close to the time that we were getting married, and she started to go see therapists and get medications, and I'm like, whoa, I'm with somebody who needs medicine to be normal, and this is not what I was expecting. But I was then, and I continue to be, the Mr. Fix-It, and I'm thinking that I can fix people that don't necessarily need fixing, that shouldn't need fixing. But my mindset was, I can deal with this, I can fix it, we're going to proceed. And we tried, and I gave it a good solid 2 years and realized that this person was not at all who I thought they were. And come to find out, she was cheating on me with someone through work. And when I found out, that's all I needed to make my decision that I was with the wrong person and move out.
Would you ever forgive someone that is unfaithful to you?
I think the decision to cheat is a decision that took thought, and basically what it tells you is, I don't care about you. So I don't feel there's a need to fight when somebody doesn't care about you. They've weighed the circumstances and made a decision that you're not that important. I come first, and I'm not trying to fix this relationship. I'm just going to please myself. And so when that happens, the decision process for me is, I'm out. And I'm not going to fight over that.
Yeah, I've
forgiven.
I've forgiven. I've thought that, it was a mistake, and, it won't happen again. I've believed that before. I mean, I've been in a few relationships, and I've been cheated on, by a few people. And that does something to you, because it makes you think that it's you, that you're the one with the problem.
I can see that.
And in my marriage, it before I met someone else, it was there was no intimacy. And for me, that is that's my love language, by affection, touching, and that's my love language, and that's how I demonstrate. I mean, I say it with words also, but words are easy, and I like to show it. And when this person was no longer responding to my affection, it really took a toll on me. It did a number on me, and immediately I turned it into, it's me, something's wrong with me, I'm defective, and so it took time, and I I decided that I'm not going to give anyone that much power ever again. I realized that to cheat is a conscious decision.
Yeah.
And you have so many opportunities to walk away from it. And when a person decides to cheat, they really have decided to gamble with your love, with your life,
Your health.
with everything. And
Everything.
yes, exactly, because now they've exposed you to other people, and that other person has been with other people also.
Clearly.
You didn't consult me. You didn't ask me if this was what I was signing up for. And I feel like, I tended to select selfish people that thought of themselves and then just assumed that I would forgive. And oftentimes I would. So I became part of the problem because I would talk a big game, but I was so afraid of being alone. And I felt like I loved them so much that I just wanted to believe that they wouldn't do it again. Until I said, no, I have to put myself first.
Yeah, I'm a very strong believer that people don't tend to change, and I'm going to get a lot of flack for saying that, because there are people who have been in relationships where they've been cheated on and they've forgiven, allowed the person back in their life, and only to be deceived again. And that's why I find it extraordinarily difficult to believe when folks try to do that. And in my experience, even in my last relationship, it had just been a reoccurring nightmare where we actually tried to hit the restart button about 4 or 5 times. And by that I mean we would actually leave one residence and try to start fresh in a new place, get another apartment, a nicer apartment, and say, okay, here we are, free from all the demons, in a new place, in a new environment, let's just start a good life from here. 6 months later, the darkness is back, and okay, we're gonna try this one more time. We're gonna move. We're gonna find something new and start fresh and hit the reset button because I was in a marriage, and I was making every effort to make it work, but it came to a point where the deceit was just overwhelming, and it was just lie upon lie upon lie, and I just couldn't deal with it anymore.
So how did you learn to trust again? How do you trust me?
It definitely took time, and we're still learning each other. Mm-hmm. But the most fun thing about the relationship is that from the get-go, the difference that I've never done before is I made my intentions extremely clear from day one. I said, this is what I want. I expect 100% honesty from you, even if it's painful, even if it hurts. I'd rather deal with that than the deceit. I said, you can expect 100% honesty from me, and I've always been that way, so it's not really anything new for me. But not knowing you, I wanted to make the intentions very, very clear. And then we started the question game. Yeah. And we started the interview and the deep diving and trying to figure out your deepest, darkest secrets, and don't ever stop doing that. And I think that's something that I did not do in my previous relationships, including my previous marriages. And so I didn't know about her medical history, psych history, and I didn't know about my last relationship. I didn't know about her feelings for someone else that she knew before meeting me. So not asking enough questions was my fault, and I take responsibility for that. So the lesson learned is don't ever stop asking questions. Yes. And that's something that I still do to this day, and you do for me, and it keeps us in check, and it keeps us connected in many ways. And that, I think, is what makes trusting easier. Mm-hmm. I absolutely implicitly trust you. I'm not worried about anything in our relationship. I think this is the healthiest relationship I've ever been in.
Me too. Me too. Because the thing is, I feel with you, like anything that I want to do, I want to go see a show. I want to go dance. I want to go, try whatever it is. And you're willing. You do it with me. And I feel like I'd rather spend time with you than with anyone else. And that means a lot to me, because when you need to get away from your partner, and I mean, I'm not saying every waking moment, you have your days where you want to be with your boys and whatever, but for those moments, that you just want to have fun, you have fun with me. So that makes it easy. And aside from that, like, I already know how it hurts. I know how when someone cheats on you, how that hurts. And I also know the value that I have found in you. And so I wouldn't gamble with that. My fear of like losing you, I mean, I know it sounds weird, because that's not what keeps me from cheating. I love you and I don't want to cheat on you. But also, like, if ever I thought I were tempted to, just everything I would lose wouldn't be worth it to me. So I just, it's not something that crosses my mind. I don't think at this point I feel I can find someone that can give me more than what you give me.
My baby.
But it's true. It's true. And I think that, in talking about this, I think that what we want to convey is that, this isn't perfect. We haven't been in the perfect relationships before. We've been hurt, and we came with baggage, and we've unpacked it, and we talk about it, and we work at our project every day.
Yeah, constantly.
It's not a given. Like, people aren't furniture. You just can't assume because we have financial responsibilities, he can't go anywhere because he can't afford to be anywhere without me, or she can't afford to be anywhere. Like, people, just like I think you're interesting, someone else is going to find you attractive as well. So I want to maintain your interest. I want to have interesting conversation. I want to engage you. I want you to be attracted to me. I want to be, I want to develop myself as a human being and as a woman, so that you can admire me also, so you don't look at another woman and say, hey, I wish you could be doing that. I want that. I want all of your attention.
That's very obvious. It's true. It's true. And the same for me. I feel exactly the same. But let's not lose focus, because what we're doing and what we're talking about is experiences where we've had people deceive us, people straight up cheat, and I've actually went to the point where I actually followed an ex-girlfriend who was telling me that she was going to her mother's in Long Island to study. This is back sometime. This is like, 15-20 years ago. And we were workmates, and that was, you don't shit where you eat. So learn from that. That was my one mistake. But anyhow, so it was a short-term relationship. But in that, I had some kind of, my spidey senses were tingling that something wasn't legit. And so I decided to take it upon myself to follow her on the way to wherever she was going.
Stalker!
And you know what? I'm going to admit it. I had reason to think it, because I had seen some weird messages and I got weird vibes. And I followed my intuition, and I was right, because when I arrived at the spot that she was supposed to be, studying, it was basically with another companion, a male companion that I'd not known. And I confronted them on the spot and blew their minds. Mm-hmm. He jumped back, almost fell out of the seat. She was
Where were they?
In a restaurant. In a restaurant. So
you made a scene?
I didn't make a scene, but they all knew who I was at that point. And he was a little bit intimidated. But anyhow, so finding that was all the information I needed, and that solidified the end of that relationship effective immediately. Yeah. But it still leaves a horrible
and it kind of makes you a little bit crazy.
Emptiness in your stomach, and it makes you feel worthless. And if any of you have ever felt that way, hopefully you've moved on from that relationship, because that's not a healthy feeling, and it's not something that goes away with a few hugs or a few romantic interludes. It's going to leave a mark. And for me, I personally, I have difficulties working past that, because my sense is that it's just going to happen again. History will repeat itself. Just like in the medical field, we look at people, we assess them, and you had a heart attack 2 years ago and you're having chest pain then, and you're having chest pain now, it's likely you're having another heart attack. We're not going to try to reinvent the wheel and think of something new. So I kind of think relationships in the same way that history tends to repeat itself. So if you're a cheater, you probably will cheat again. And it's very difficult.
Yeah.
But it takes a lot of mature development that not a lot of people are ready to do until...
Well, not a lot of people aren't even willing to talk about it, because...
Or admit it.
Admit it, because if you've been a cheater, then, sometimes, I guess people have made a mistake and they cheated and whatever and lost so much. And maybe that fixes them, and, the next relationship they know better. But when you're at the receiving end, it kind of makes you a little bit crazy, because I remember looking through phones, looking through messages, trying to decode, and it just drove me insane. And that is one of the things that I really enjoy about us, that it's like there's no hiding the phones. There's no, we have each other's passwords and we don't go through each other's phones. No. There's no reason. You give me no reason. I give you no reason. There is just trust. And that, that makes me want to, always do the right thing. Always, because it's like I never had what you're giving me. And I want to make sure that I never give you a reason.
I don't know if they believe that I have your passcode. So I think I'm going to open your phone and you can unlock my phone.
Uh-oh.
All right, so there's a lock screen.
Wait.
And I'm going to press the button and type in what I know to be your and I'm in.
I'm in.
Did you show them the lock screen?
No, I didn't show the lock screen, but I got in too.
So we have access to each other's phones. There's no secret about that.
No.
But I have no reason to go.
We have no reason, and that's a wonderful feeling. It's like I had never had that before, so I didn't know what it felt like, because I never trusted anyone, and I thought, guys are no good and they're always gonna screw up at some point or another. But I realized, I had to work on myself and understand that you can't categorize everyone the same way. And so what I have now feels amazing, where I don't worry at any moment, and I just can allow myself to love freely, be happy, and trust that, trust him with my heart. And, the security, the safety that I feel, I don't ever want to lose. And it's worth it. It's worth it. So even if you've been at the receiving end, and we both have, there are still people out there that are honest, that are real, that are true, that are going to love you how you deserve to be loved. So don't give up, but make wise choices,
Dig deep early on. And I think we've mentioned it in probably one or two other videos, maybe like the How We Met video, but so we'll just be brief in reminding. Go in hard, ask 1,000 questions on your first few dates. You will uncover something that either you will stimulate you and get you going, and that's a good thing, or you'll find something that's going to break you. Ask the hard questions. Have you ever cheated? Ask hard questions. Have you ever broken up with people? What was your reason? Do you talk to them? Are you in love with any of your exes? That type of thing. Those are very hard questions that you don't always find opportunities for in your first date. So make sure you get it in on the second date. Make sure you get it in on your third date.
Yeah, make it like a fun thing, and just, because in the beginning...
It's discovery. It's all about discovery. And you may find wonderful attributes about the person that you're considering, and you may find deal breaker stuff. Well, I smoke on occasion, and I drink every day, and things that will not be acceptable to your standards, whatever those standards are. But hopefully your standards get better with with bad experiences. You got to level up. You can't keep going back to the same picking field or the same pool if you keep pulling bad fish in.
Yeah, and also, I'm not saying that anyone that has cheated before won't. I mean, is definitely going to do it again. Perhaps it was just, they were in an unhappy situation and they didn't end it properly, and whatever the situation is, it doesn't mean that somebody that's done it before can't realize their mistakes and recover. But follow your intuition. Follow your intuition. If there are too many parallels between the past relationship and this one, the one that failed and this one, then perhaps you are just repurposing the same person in different human beings.
Yeah.
So, and we have a tendency, because that's our comfort. So, yeah.
Yeah, if you have some questions, please, again, feel free to put it down in the comments below. And if you have not already, please hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you can find out more interesting topics from us as we come back next week with some more good stuff.
Yeah.
Do you know what it's going to be?
No, not yet.
All right, well, we'll get back to you.
Yeah, we'll get back to you. Hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah, we look forward to seeing you next time.
Bye.